Hi, sweethearts. So, today's collective is starting off a little bit differently. I'm not sure what the theme is, but I'm suspecting it's love because it usually is with me. That's usually what I end up reading. But I've been having this enormous headache. It might, of course, just be my own headache, but it's also intensifying down in the neck, down the shoulder, and that's a lot of tension. That's a lot of tension. And I do have this. It's just that it's oddly prominent right now. Like, it's very odd. And so I'm guessing the right collective, there is something that connects you with that. I don't know, it can be tension, it can be emotions, it can be repressed stuff, because that would situate in the body and just stay there, kind of, you know. But I don't know, it's something. So, for this right collective, and that's also my energy is off because of the tension. That is, it's a little bit like hard to get in the right mindset right now. That's what I'm sensing. It's not bad. It's just, it's not great. It's always lingering, and that, oh. Okay. So we got a card immediately. It's a so-called yes-no card. So, firstly, it's number 3, so that might be relevant for the right collective, and it's very likely. At this time, the situation or outcome is likely to occur. And what I'm sensing here is, because of the imagery, there is something about walking the line here and moving forward. There's something with it and about it. I'm not quite sure what. I'm also sensing that this thing is very likely, whatever I said, if it resonated. Oh yeah, so this is important. The right collective, you will resonate also in the story. I say this in every single reading, but since this is a collective reading, this is important. For the right collective, the details have to fit, okay? But if you feel called to this timeless reading, so whenever you find it, you know, there's probably something for you here. But yeah, also, if the details does not fit, but you still feel called to click on this and also watch this, then quite likely there is a message here for you, but more of a general one. It's important because, you know, if I'm reading love, you don't want to get false. I want to say hope, but you can also get, like, it can also be negative. It doesn't have to be positive. You don't know about that. But also in general, you know. Now, remember that this is a general reading, and it can't be as on point as a personal reading, but that just means, for example, stuff might resonate with you, but I might be wording it a little bit differently, that I might do anyways, and I might be using tiny bit like different imagery, but it should still resonate with you. It's like I'm not putting new thoughts and new revelations into you, into your head. You're supposed to have it, this has to resonate, the story, the details, for kind of the solution to be your solution, whatever the solution is. It's also odd, I'm calling it even a solution, because I would never call it that. Yeah, no, I'm saying there's some problem solving here. For the right connector. Let's just see what happens, okay? I was not going to be starting with this deck, but it's a nice deck, so let's just continue on and see what happens. Okay, so what's the situation now for the current collector? And it's not this. Nope. Okay, so the very likely card. What's this? Cards are popping out. We have 3 cards. I'm not sure what this is. Randomly. Okay. Okay. So the first card that dropped out was Fairy Tale. Believe in the impossible. Daydreams, romantic ending, universal archetypes, hopeful, magic, unicorns and rainbows, aspire, happily ever after. Fanciful stories we tell. Okay, so that's the first one. And then the second one is held together, boundaries. It's the corset. Held together. Oh, wait. Maybe, perhaps you want to see it. This is the first card that dropped out. Except, of course, for the very likely card. Yeah, so corset. Held together, boundaries, restriction, prim and proper, following rules, structured, buttoned up, perfect posture, holding it together, support, shapeshift, people pleaser. And then the third one, was the biker. So, lone wolf style, impervious, nonconformist, standing up, breaking rules, brotherhood, enjoy the ride, loves freedom, moving on, outlaw, maverick, swift actions, need for speed. I'm not quite sure. This is... Give me 1 second. I just need to feel this a little bit. Okay. So the right collective here. Most definitely. Yes, okay, I see it now. For the right collective, you are more of an individualist. You enjoy walking to the beat of your own drum. You might view yourself as a sort of like a loner, like a lone wolf sort of person, and that makes sense. Why does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense because lately you have been living, I don't know for how long, but for longer than what is comfortable for you, the right collective. You have been living very restrained, but you also have this capability of restraining yourself socially, I sense. Yeah, there's something about that. Like you also have that ability. You've been doing the right thing, is what I'm sensing. Like you've been doing the right thing, this right collective, and you've been following the rules, and you've been doing those things, whatever that's expected of you. But the issue is that it doesn't really align with you to keep on doing that. And you're really sensing this like need to break out of the corset. It's like sort of the when they were burning corsets and stuff, that's what I'm sensing here. This lone wolf, this biker, this like rebel with a cause. And the cause is to be non-conformist, because that does not suit you. At least the environment, I'm not saying that no environment would suit you, and no group dynamic, and no rules, and no norms. I'm saying that the specific group norm, whatever it is that you are currently in. Yes, because now my shoulder is dropping. It's like, whatever it is that you are in right now, that is not, it does not align with you whatsoever. But I love this. The right collective has hope. It's like, I can see it. I can picture it. And I can have that dream of mine, whatever that dream is. I'm not sure that this is love. It can be whatever. For now, we don't know, okay? For now, we don't know. It might be love, but it might also be more general. But anyways, this right collective, you believe that you can break free from whatever it is that is restraining you. You just have to do it. And you're very likely to do so. That's very positive, though. Like, this is great. If it doesn't align with you, then you know, it's harmful for you to stay there. Okay, then we have that. For some reason, I felt really drawn to this. But I'm also sensing more of those. But we're going to be continuing on with this. Because I want to check what the situation is. Like, what is it that's not aligning with you, but you're still in it? Let's see. The Lenormand. But it's still, like, this is great energy to be in, though. Like, this is gorgeous. You are individualizing yourself. I'm also sensing with the biker card. I'm looking down at the card, of course. And you're also kind of finding your inner unicorn. Like, you are the unicorn. You are the archetype of the lone wolf magically galloping through the forest on a misty day. Really just breaking free from convention. Okay, but let's see the right collective. Like, what's the situation we're talking about here? What's the issue? What are they? What is this right collective? Whoa! What? Breaking free from? Okay, let's see. Wait, my light is attacking me as well. Okay, my cards are running away. My lights are attacking me. I'm sensing this thing, but I'll actually let loose a little bit, so that's nice, but... Oh yeah, and then you got this card. It was transition. You know, the bridge. Building a bridge from one place to another place. I don't really read Lenormand cards like that, but that's still what it is. A bridge is transition. Going from one place to another. But I feel like this change always comes with some sort of tension. Of course it does. But I'm thinking and feeling this is also a little bit more like I'm feeling chaos here. There's chaos here. I'm sorry. Right, collective, I'm very sorry. I'm going to put this in again, though, because I want to build my tiny pyramid to really get insight into this. Let's just see with the pyramid. What are we bridge building? This right collective, hi. This right, I haven't looked at the card yet. This right collective, what's the situation? What's the issue? What's bridge building at? What is this about? Whoa. Not yet. Okay, but we have the bridge and we have this child. Oh yeah, the child card flipped itself. But it's not the first card, okay? So it's card number 2. But it could literally mean children, but I am not sensing that. It's the new beginning. Whoa. Yeah, and then this one also flipped itself, and it kind of went all to the other end, so my right side. And I'm sensing, I haven't read it like the proper way yet, but the card in and of itself, I'm sensing a new anchoring, like, which makes sense anyways. But okay, in that case, yeah, you might view yourself as the lone wolf sort of type, but you kind of want to have some sort of structure, I think. Because you're still... Oh yeah, and in this deck, there are also fishes on the anchor card, which stands and represents, of course, we have the ocean, which is emotions, and it's turbulent because you can see all the waves and stuff. I mean, it's not so turbulent that it's like a storm. It's just that it's splashing into the water, meaning, you know, there's some sort of like, at least, initial turbulence, emotional turbulence. But the fishes are abundance. And it's like, it's more general abundance, but I'm sensing also the general pentacle, suit of pentacle here. So it's just the material realm I'm sensing. Okay, and then we also have the birds, and I'm sensing free flying because of the biker. So it's like finding some sort of freedom in a new kind of anchoring. So it's not that you want to be a lone wolf, and it's not that you're aiming towards that, and it's not that you're trying to build a bridge from what is now containing you, where you feel is also containing you, and over to complete and utter freedom. It's like, I will live beside society and never talk to anyone again. That's not what I'm sensing here. I'm sensing something that is more, this does not align with me, and I want something that does. Yes. Okay, we got another card, but it didn't flip, so I'm not going to check. However, this new card did land on top of the child card, so new beginning, which might be relevant once I flip it. Just want to see, because we need 2 more cards. Perhaps 3. There we have it. Okay, can I get one more? Oh my god, that one almost went. Well, I didn't actually flip that high, but it was like heading towards the flame. Why were you heading towards the flame? I'm going to flip that one. Why is it kamikaze itself? Oh, wow, yeah, okay. It's also a gamble here. There's like a gamble that's going to be taken. You didn't hit the fire though, you survived. It was just that you were aiming in that direction. You're good. Okay, let's see if we can get one more. Which will kind of be like the card that is read together with all of these wonderful enemy cards. Yeah, okay. We'll try, shuffle it once, and whoa, and just check. Do we get one more? Yes, we did. Why are you upside down? Okay, some of them have flipped themselves. Also, when I did this, these are not part of it, but they are relevant energies. It has to do with loyalty. And it has to do with finding your way in the maze, but like in general. Yeah. So the defining card now, the one that will be read with all of them, was the boat. It's transition as well, actually. Going on a journey. A boat can be quite slow. So this journey might have been slow, relatively. But it's also a long journey. Like, you don't Yeah, I mean, you can, but not this type of boat. You can, well, you can. Also, this is a flying boat. I want to add that. Like, this is a flying boat. So it's still slow, but you can actually get almost anywhere then. You've been given wings, kind of. You don't have to. I'm sensing it with this card, because this is just in its element. It's the anchor to a boat. So it's almost like, but that again with the corset, like you're breaking free, right, from what you had, but you're doing it to find something different that you can align with. So you still want structure in your life, but you want something that aligns with you. And to do so, you had to kind of cut away what was anchoring you and holding you literally down. For this boat is flying. Okay, so with all of that said, let's see what the rest of the cards are here. Okay, the card that landed on top of the child card, so like new beginning card, was the lilies. Is that not what it's called? This flower? It doesn't really matter. It is the lilies. But this card is about maturity. It's also about, am I allowed to say that? I don't know. I genuinely don't know if I'm allowed to say that. It's nothing bad. It's like mature relationships, let's call it that. Mature intimacy, let's call it that. So it's about that, but it's also about calmness. Like, this is emotional maturity, but like, you're not, I want to say pretending it. Because it's nuanced, right? And it has to be. Emotional maturity is not to pretend that you're all, I want to say put together. But no, you know what? Whatever words I use is relevant for the right collective. Not necessarily all of them, but still. So the new beginning, it has to do with becoming more or seeking out something. But that makes sense anyways. Like, if you are breaking free and you still want structure, and you're breaking free from the structure you had, that's because you have matured, right? Or at least you have grown. And what you've grown into is something that is more mature. And that maturity, for you, demands a new beginning. For you to feel, but it's not just about feeling. What was I going to say? The word completely dropped out of my consciousness. Well, then it's not that important. Okay, we're just going to get to it. So, oh, okay. Okay, so we're starting with this card. That's the first card. It's the magnifier. So you've looked into something here, and what you've been looking into is something. Yeah, but you're noticing the details. You're noticing things you didn't see before. Because you couldn't see it before. It's your change that has made it so that you can see it now. Had you not changed, you would not have seen it. Had you changed differently, then you would maybe perhaps also have seen it differently. Is what I'm sensing. It's like it's the change that is the tool that allowed you to see this need and want for something else, a new start. But, because they're like this, you know, but it's also this looking into it that has made you grow emotionally, as well as, of course, it affects it. So the more you grew, the more you saw. The more you saw, the more you grew. And the more this need for change also came. And then, oh, those flipped over for some weird reason. It doesn't really matter, but I sense I'm supposed to be. I'm just gonna put it there. Okay, it's not important, okay? If I end up making changes, it's important. If not, then I'm following the intuition that I have, and then that's quite likely the way it's supposed to be done for this collective. It usually is. Oh, it always is, to be honest, but still. What we have here, though, is, again, this whole new beginning with this new structure. I said this before, but it also came with the Sun card. So, with the maturity, because wait, I know it's super complicated, but it really isn't. Okay, look, it's how you read the Lenormand cards. They're like sentences, right? So if they touch, or if they're close, you read them together. So, illumination, but it can also be hope, and it can also be yes, and it can be feeling positive. It's a very positive card, but illumination is in it. Still, though, the illumination, again, tied to your growth, your maturity, that has slowly been trickling in, I'm going to say. Like, this has been a slow journey, but it's a journey that's also been setting you free emotionally with this one that we read with all of them, or the energy that we read with all of them. But yeah, so these are very important that they are connected, because it's not illumination of like everything and anything, and it didn't come from nothing. It came, it's like with the magnifying glass, it came with you growing emotionally, becoming more you. I'm going to say individualized due to the biker card. And also the thing with bikers, it's, yes, lone wolf and all of that, but most bikers that are serious about it, that like, you don't have to like join a gang, but you have joined usually a group of other people that also carry the same interest, at least. So yes, you operate somewhat outside of society, but you find like-minded people and operate together with them. Yeah. That's important for you right now. That's important for you, the right collective. But yeah, so there's illumination. It is also illuminating, thankfully, what it is kind of that you are searching for, what you're looking for, and sort of what you would like to have as your structure, but also where you would like to sort of belong. And this new beginning is giving you, well, the fact that you can visualize this new beginning is also, it's giving you hope. And you can visualize a structure that would be beneficial for you in every way, like emotionally with the water, freedom with the, so like you can still be yourself with the birds, and then with the fish, abundant wise, but like material world, whatever abundant means to you, because that changes from person to person. And of course the structure part, that's important too. But at the core of all of this, it's still a gamble. You're still left with the knowledge and feeling that this is somewhat a gamble, because it is. Your maturity has also stemmed from making some sort of a gamble. Your growth, I mean, stemmed from that, but also your illumination, like your gamble has been paying off one way or another. because of the sun. It has illuminated some good fortune for you. And what I am sensing here is you will need to keep on gambling a little bit more if you wish to move on to this like new group that actually fits you. But or new reality, I'm not sure, but this new thing that actually fits you. And it's necessary to reach this desired outcome, whatever that is for you. We've not yet, like, it's not yet said, oh, this is love. It might be love, but it could be larger than that, like in general. It genuinely could. There's nothing here except from this that can indicate some sort of more mature love going on. But anyways, this has been a long journey for you. It's taken time. And it's not yet done. It's not yet over. Because up until now, this journey has not allowed you, or rather, what you... Oh, that's the gamble. Yeah, okay. So you've done lots of gambling on this journey of yours. You've done lots of gambling on this journey of yours. You've had to. One way or another, you've gambled something here. Like when I say gamble, it can literally be anything. It's just that you're doing something that you wouldn't be doing. For some people, taking a different path home can feel like a gamble, right? This is individual. Whatever resonates for you here is probably what it is. But you're not done. You're going to have to continue on doing that scary thing, that thing that isn't what you normally do or would do. And you're quite likely going to also. But if you want that different ending, that different fairy tale, like believing in the impossible, because that's the thing too. There is some sort of like, this would be a dream come true. And I am not quite sure that I believe that it is possible for me to end up with this. But I'm going to take a gamble anyways, because I really want that. And with the sun cards and all of these, because this is a bunch of positive cards, okay? I only have positive cards. Like, yes, hard work. Yes, not easy. Yes, there is change, and it doesn't even say fair. So I'm not sure there's lots of fair, but I can feel the tension. So there is that. But should you continue down this road as you have, you know, being bold and brave, moving with yourself as your compass, I'm genuinely thinking that if you have started individualizing like this, you've been breaking free like this, you've been facing some tough emotional blockages. But I think you still have physical blockages. I don't know how deep these blockages are though. I feel like we should check that too. What blockages are we talking about? I'm going to use these. I feel. Yeah, we're going to use these first just to see. What blockages are we talking about? What's going on here? Whoa, okay, convertible. And this is the corset. Oh, it landed on top of the corset. So it's the convertible. It's a car. Many options, free will, adjacent possibilities, choices, flexible, adaptable, potential, change, freedom, enjoyment, two-faced, going with the wind, alternatives, preferences. I want one more with that. It's tied to the corset. Wish granted. Rainbow. Yeah, that's a thing, because I was looking at the rainbow with the child as well, and I was really focusing on the rainbow up here. There's something about rain. Oh, I'm not gonna swear, because I'm behaving from now on. For now, at least. So I was very much like with the rainbow here. This is the rainbow. And then like with this and taking a gamble, and I think you could get your wish fulfilled. I don't know what it is, but you should definitely continue down this road, but you need to stay focused. Like you have to stay laser focused. You have to continue on. As we said, like when I was mentioning the thing with some people finding it very, not difficult, it's just, it can feel uncomfortable. For example, something as taking a different road home, or perhaps going to a different cafe, or like speaking with people you don't usually speak to. Like it can be anything, truthfully. But what I'm sensing here is that it feels like a gamble when you do it, so you know you have your heart up, and that's okay. That happens with everyone and to everyone. But so you have your heart up, and you have the option of not doing this. You can walk away. You have free will. You don't have to keep gambling like this, and this is also important because you never had to. It's not just now, like you never had to go on this journey, but you chose to do it anyways. For some reason, you chose to make this gamble, but in doing so, it has also affected, you know, your growth and everything like that. And you keep on doing this, you keep on gambling, but you have to, or like what feels like a gamble, it might not actually be a gamble. It can be something as simple as taking a different route. It is you doing something different because you want a different outcome. So it's like if you keep on doing the same thing, well, you keep on getting the same results, but you want a different result, and because of that you chose differently, and you don't know where you're heading towards then, and so it would feel like a gamble in one way or another. However, you doing that is, when you do it, and I'm sensing you do it as consistently as you can at least, which is great. And if you're not, then you should, because if the rest kind of sort of fits, you know, there might be a message here as well, you know. But the reason is that this is truly what is moving you towards your desired outcome. However, should you move away from this, like should you stop, because you can at any point, there will be no one that will stop you if you stop. There will be no one that will push you back onto this if you stop. It will just be, okay, well, you didn't want that. It's like with karma, sort of, you know, like you did something, so you got something. It's nothing more than that. It's not punishment, it's not nothing. It's like action, reaction, basically. And that's what I'm sensing here too. But the thing is, because you've been bold and brave, you're getting bold and brave results. And because you've been bold and brave towards what you wanted to do, what you wanted to receive, actually, that's also what you are receiving. But it'll still feel like a gamble. And you can still walk away, meaning it hasn't actually made that physical, grounded appearance in your life yet. It cannot have. However, you are on the perfect road to get your entire wish granted. Like this is the wish fulfillment card. Look at it. It's the gold pot at the end of the rainbow. There's like a double rainbow even up here. And guess what? I didn't have that in the last 2 videos. So this is for you guys. Double rainbow. That's like a great thing. And also, we have it here as well. Because like, rainbow and rainbow. I know. Anywho, so this is wish granted, serendipity. So it's also like, it can come in when you didn't expect it. Blessing, patient pays off. Because this journey has not, you've spent some time on this. Abundance. At the end of the thing. Abundance. But like something that actually aligns with you. Oh, wait, that's the wrong side of the card. Wait, one sec. Hope, good luck, patience. Yeah, this is, I feel like I've said that. Promise, godsend, creation, manifesting wealth. Yeah, prosperity and perfect timing. So again, like this has taken time. But it's like, I don't know if you know this. But if it had taken, it could not have taken less time than this. However long it has taken for this collective, and it will vary actually individually here, but however long this change has taken, it needed to take that time. It needed to take that long. And that's important because I might be doing this reading to keep up your motivation, but that also means that some of you guys just need like that pep talk. Oh, keep on doing exactly what you're doing because you're doing great, by the way. But others, you might also sense that, okay, I'm doing this gambling and I can sense the change. I can sense it, you know. I've done a lot of healing and growing and whatnot. It's just that I can sense it, but oh fuck. I'm trying not to swear. It doesn't matter. Fuck no, I cannot see it in my life. Like, it's still the same. Everything looks the same, it feels the same, it is the same. Yes, it would, because it starts here, right? Like you have to make the change internal first. It has to. If you don't start here, it's never going to manifest. Like the pentacle in tarot, that is super slow moving energy. Like that is such a slow moving energy. Because manifesting stuff into the real world, reality, sort of, out of your mind into this, that takes time. It takes lots of time and dedication. Oh, I mean, like, some of the time it can manifest itself relatively swiftly. Yes. But the process of getting up to this would still demand time. Like with the magician. Sort of, not really, but sort of, in the sense that, you know, the magician has all of the tools and all of whatnot, but he has to channel it. He's going to have to use all of the things that he has in his repertoire to do so, but he will be successful because he can manipulate the world around him. But patience, and also with a magician, like a stage magician or any type of magician, it's like... Yes, when you look at the trick, when you get to watch it, it might not take that long. But it took a lot of time to actually get it into your body, your hands, if it's like a card thing, or learning to trust, if it's like a mentalist, for example, learning to trust that your trick will do what it needs to do with the people that are supposed to, because most of the time it's like random people, right? So it has to also affect the people that it's meant to affect in the right way. And you have to trust that. Trust is important here, because the thing is, you can't know until you're in the situation. When you stand there and you do, we're sticking with the mentalist, you can't know for a fact until you've tried. And every single time you, I suppose, at least I'm not a mentalist, but I suppose you would still potentially have that fear of, yeah, but maybe it doesn't work with you. Yeah, maybe you are the exception to the rule, because that could happen. I mean, maybe there are like saves and tricks and whatnot to fix that, but you're going to have to learn to trust that you have the skills, that you can do this, and that people and the world will be manipulated into what you kind of want and need it to be manipulated into. I mean, of course, the nice thing is that people who go to like magician show or stuff like that, like, you know that you're going to get fooled. That's the whole thing, but you do it willingly, like it's part of the show. So it's sort of a contract between the audience and the magician, an unspoken one, and it's a beneficial one, right? I just need a drink. Okay, so we kind of have it here now, what this is all about and whatnot, and also the fact that you should carry on and do what you're doing, but do it very, I don't want to say meticulously, but of course if the word comes up, it's more, don't stray. You're doing so well right now, but it is important that you keep your head in the game. Thinking about High School Musical for some reason. I mean, it's the funny one, I suppose. But anyway, it's like you kind of like, you gotta keep your head in the game, and stay focused. What? I want to say what could trip you up, but honestly, because this is important. I sense that this is very important, like, because you're doing so much gambling. I genuinely, like, yeah, I feel like you feel you're walking a tightrope. And you are, but look at this. Your fall isn't going to be that bad. Should you mistakenly mistread, then it's not going to be the end of the world, which is nice. I want to check, though, with tarot, kind of like from the universe, what should you be doing now-ish? What's your road forward? Your recommended road forward? I mean, your recommended road forward is do what you've been doing, but still, wait. I want to check it. Give me 1 second. I just want to see what else pops out before I... Just give me 1 second. Okay. We're going through the entire thing until I say anything. So... there's a lot here, actually. And it's not coming in any, like, traditional way or form. It's landing on top of very specific cards. Okay. Okay, let's see. So the first card that came out was the Hierophant. For me, that's a card of marriage, but it doesn't have to be. It's simply structure, and we've been talking about that a lot. So... it's kind of structure out of chaos, you know, or also teaching and stuff like that, but it landed on top of gambling. I think for some of you guys this truly is a love reading, and for some it might not be, or also it's just that it's more of a general thing, like it actually encompasses all of your life. The right collector will know. Even if I don't know, the right collector will know. But no, I'm really sensing this. A new structure, and a new structure could be... well, it could also be, like, you could be... no, you couldn't be, because you feel restricted. I was like, you could be going from single to something that's committed. But no, if this is a love reading for whomever it resonates with, you're going from one thing to another. And for others, it's more of you're going from one sort of structure to another. That's what you're gambling on. But you're doing great. Like, don't forget that. Anywho, so Hierophant, we're just going to read the keywords. Religious traditions. Yeah, but it doesn't have to do anything at all with religion. It's the things that I said. Like, it's more structure. I mean, what religion does is that it structures a spiritual something. Yeah, close enough. And then we have rulers, leaders, right and wrong, programming, conforming, institutions, convention, marriage, haha, told ya, values and faith. So it could also be that I'm sensing like a real change of values. Yeah. With Lily card, part of your emotional growing up thing. But it's not that it necessarily changed so much as you just found them. Sort of. You might have adopted the values of what was restricting you. And the reason it even feels restrictive is because those values and those ways of living never really resonated with your own self, which is why it is important to internalize these sort of things. Like, take stuff internally to properly feel, like, for example, situations, for example, values, for example, whatever is thrown at you. Lots of people, you listen to lots of, I do it too, okay? I do it too. But we listen to lots of podcasts and we watch lots of, for example, readers, and it's just lots of information and lots of ways that other people think. And that's great. That's great. You should look outside yourself. But you shouldn't blindly adopt anything. You take whatever it is that you find and receive and whatnot internally, and then you actually digest it. You actually go, okay, how does that align with the other things that I think and feel? How does that actually make me feel if I choose to sit in it? And that's important. So, what came out next, though, was the 5 of Wands. So that is conflict, but it's not like, it's more bantering. It's not really. I usually say like sibling bantering. That's 5 of Wands to me. It's not that serious, or also like young boys in that fight. But sports is a very good example. It's like you do something for sports more than anything. But anyway, so 5 of Wands. Personality clashes. Yeah, that could happen. Competition, arguing, chaos, misunderstanding, opposition, temper, lost opportunity. This is convertible, many options, free will. It landed on top of this. Okay. I see. Okay, this is a very typical, because you feel restricted where you're at, right? So it's not that it's life-threatening, or it's not like it's... I wouldn't be doing a reading for that. Anyways, I wouldn't be... Unless that would be like a personal reading, that would never be a collective reading. I think. You should never say never, but... what I'm sensing here is that you are, because of the tension, of course it is, there's like, in your current situation that feels restrictive, so, but also because you've opened your eyes and you see what you see now, it'll feel even more restrictive, because once you see it, it's hard to unsee it, and even worse, it's hard to sit in it afterwards. But you still have the option of doing so. You can choose to do nothing, but this won't go away if you do so. But also, this is kind of what is. You should look at this as what is meant to push you in the right direction. If it feels uncomfortable like this, it doesn't align with you. Where do you feel comfortable? With whom do you feel comfortable? Doing what? Internalizing is literally what I just said. Because remember that you are adaptable. And you can get through this, and you have free will, so you're still going to have to continue on walking. If you stop now, well, then your progress stops too, sort of. Well, it's not sort of. It is, and that's it. Okay, and then 2 random ones fell on top of the sun. So illumination, but also, you know, positivity and all of that. And on top we have the High Priestess, which is gorgeous. That's gorgeous energy, particularly because it's very close to the Hierophant. So for me, that's like, in a more general sense, in a love situation, it would be like a perfect match, like a good, which makes sense with the fairy tale ending that you're aiming towards. So if it is love, then it is something about either you've found or you want something that aligns with you much more on a very deep level, or very holistic, in a very holistic sense. Like, it's not just, you want to match in values, you want to match in how you wish to live. Like, you want to be able to be all of yourself, sort of, if it is love. But if not, and also if it is, it's also illuminating, because we also talked about this, it's also illuminating more of the essence of yourself, which you might not have seen that much before. Because the High Priestess, sorry, forgot the name, but the High Priestess is sort of the spiritual essence. Yeah, we're gonna keep on going with that. It's sort of the spiritual essence of what is then structured by the Hierophant. Because the yeah, we're going with that. Okay, so High Priestess, subconscious mind, bridge between worlds, divine feminine. Oh yeah, this is also actually divine masculine. Although the Emperor is more usually, but it's more of the spiritual, like you match. This goes deeper, is what I'm trying to say. Or like, also you could say higher, like this goes higher, like in the higher love sort of thing, which I've been quoting a lot lately for some reason. So probably there is a right collective that really is on that path towards a so-called higher love. But yeah, so sacred wisdom, inner knowing, diving deep, you've started listening to your intuition. Of course you have. Oh, you are both combining intuition and structure now. That's impressive. Good work. Keep on doing that. No wonder it feels like a gamble. Because you're following your intuition. You might be seeing lots of signs and synchronicities. Or something else, like maybe angel numbers or whatever it is. And you're actually listening to it now. That's bold and brave. Keep on doing it. It won't lead you astray. We have to remember. Like, I'm going to walk a little bit away from spirituality here, because I'm going to ground it for you, because you seem to feel like this is still a gamble. But you have to remember, this right collective, we are animals, okay? All animals have intuition, and our intuition is there to keep us alive as well. If you can sense something, listen to it. You will far more. They did a research on this, actually. And your intuition is far more likely to be correct than it is to be incorrect. And it's because it's picking up on the tiny things. And it's picking up on energy, it's picking up emotions, it's picking up on those tiny little, super discreet things that you can't really control, like as a person. But it's also picking up on like larger stuff. It's like something isn't right, and it doesn't have to be necessarily with a person. It can be a bigger situation. But you can also pick up when something is simply right. And you should listen to both. Anywho, so yeah, mysterious intuition and calm. But underneath the High Priestess, hidden, and I think this is what has been illuminated, because it's hidden, but it's been illuminated with you actually listening to yourself and growing and all of that. You might have also actually been able to move from your head to your body and like integrate all of this. So that's gorgeous. I'm saying it for a reason, but upside down we had Knight of Coins beneath the High Priestess here. And that's a person who lacks direction, which makes a lot of sense if you're actually this individualistic person. And or you don't have to be very individualistic, but it's still like if you are someone who has ended up in a place, in a situation where you do not align, it is because you have been led there. And you have either been led there by people that you have followed, that you wanted to fit in with, or that you, because it's ego-based in that case, like external. It has to do with something external. And it's a lack of internalizing who you actually are. It's a lack of looking inside yourself to find yourself. You're looking outside. All of these big and grand things that I can achieve, that's what's going to define me. Like the perfect job, the perfect wife, the perfect home, the perfect friends, like the perfect everything on paper. It's not even on paper, probably on a podcast you listen to at some point, or a book that you flipped through, or some person that you looked up to when you were a child. It doesn't have to be when you were a child, but like at some point when you were impressionable, which you are not anymore, the right collective. Like, of course, we're all impressionable, but you've actually individualized, which is important, because that's leading you out of, because it was illuminated that you were, but this internalization thing is leading you out of lack of direction. So feeling stuck, irresponsible, sorry, but it might be true, bored, unstable, impatient, doesn't finish things, and stifled. And this is you, because it's your whole journey up until now has been you. And you are no longer any of that, because you started to actually listening to you. So change happened. But there's also one card that didn't flip. Oh, that's amazing. And this one was connected to... Okay, so firstly, it's 8 of Coins. And it landed on top of both, very likely, the Illumination card and the Convertible card. So the Convertible, you know where I'm saying... find a direction and actually stick to it. But 8 of Coins, so dedication to the craft, detailed, speciality, sticking to it, self-employed, achievement, work, mastery, and committed. But it's basically saying the exact same thing that we have been saying over and over again now in this reading, which is you really need to just stick to your guns right now. Continue on doing what you're doing. Continue the so-called grind. Because you are so close. The 8 of Coins right before the 9 of Coins. And the 9 of Coins is the individual. Like, you've properly individualized. You are properly standing on your own feet. And it's just you and all of the things that you have created materialized. It's yeah, we still have the 10 of Coins. Before the journey through the Coins Kingdom, not looking at the royal family then, but until that journey is done, no, we still, yeah, no, truth, we're still there, but that's more of community, you know, and that's not the focus to this group. Not this right collective. It is the whole like individualization thing, sort of. Because you want to be individualized, but you want to be individualized so that you can create a structure that actually aligns with who you are. It's not being individualized for just simply being individualized. It's just that I don't feel right where I'm at right now. And I want and need something that aligns with me. And this is all that's coming up. So if we continue on with this reading, it'll just be the same thing. I'm thinking this is broad. We've mentioned love, so there's probably some in here, in this collective, that specifically it is about love. However, I'm sensing this is bigger, it's broader. It's like the thing that I say with compartmentalization, it's not real. You can't really do that. And with the fairy tale ending as well, of course it can be love simply, but it is bigger, it is broader. It will affect most areas of your life. I'm not saying it will make a drastic change to all areas of your life or even most areas of your life. It's just that in some way it does affect many areas of your life, one way or another. This isn't a small thing what you'll end up with. What I want is a card to keep on, to keep you motivated. Yeah, we're gonna use that. Wait. We are going to be using the monsters or whatever it is. Wait, dark and dangerous? Deep, dark and dangerous oracle. This has great oracle cards. So this is like, what should you embody, sort of, to just keep on marching forward? This right collector, what should they embody to keep on marching forward and doing this great job that they've already been doing? Let's see. Okay, we got yeah, it's the Nordic serpent. In Norwegian we call him Midgard's Omen, but his name, I knew this wasn't his name, but I never remember it. I'm unsure if they've just used a fancy. If they're just, because like there is no letter that combines this, I think, at least. So like there's the serpent, right, in the icy sea of the Nordic realms. He doesn't actually, it's not actually how he does this, because he is like surrounding Earth, which is flat for the Vikings, very flat. And then you have the serpent surrounding the entire Earth, flat Earth, and biting its tail where it meets itself again. Why is that important? I don't know. Because it's all tangled up right now and frozen. You're not stretched out right now. You're all tangled up. Corset. Yes, of course. It's the corset. You haven't, you can't breathe properly quite yet. Because you've not, again, it hasn't physicalized, right? All of your changes. It's there, but it hasn't physicalized. It's not out there in your physical world yet. But if you keep on going the route that you are going, keep on doing the things that you're doing, it will. According to the cards, yes, if you stick and remain in the same energy, it will materialize. But you can't take that breath of relief quite yet. You sense also. So let's see. Oh yeah, the name Jörmungandr. I don't know. It says cycles. And then also Midgard serpent. Yeah, that's closer. Oh yeah, and the number is 34. We've had lots of numbers and stuff here. I'm not. I like numbers. Numbers are cool, but I forget telling them to you guys. Unless they like really pop out to me. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's see. 34. Cycles. I'm gonna read this. So, let's see. There is a time for everything. You don't always have to be striving and making things happen. Connect with the season and flow with them. Because you're already doing what you're supposed to be doing. Keep on doing it. It falls natural to you so long as you follow your intuition. The cycles are intuitive. For the moon, for the seasons, for the everything, for us. All animals, all everything. The cycles are intuitive. They just happen. But it doesn't mean that you can't affect them or change them. For example, with trees that are standing close to a streetlight. Some you will notice that on the side that the light is hitting the tree, it will never truly go into that winter slumber. So we are affecting this natural cycle with unnatural lighting. They never truly get to do their cycle. And that's why, partially at least, very few, but some places they've actually shut down, if I remember correctly, the streetlights that they at least don't need, like, I don't know, something like that, because they are trying to let the trees actually live their natural life as they would if they were not placed, well, if they did not randomly grow next to, or not so randomly, next to a false sun, sort of false sun. That's interesting, since the sun is the illuminating thing that we've been looking into that a lot. You've been following a false sun. You have been hindering your own cycles by doing so also. You've been hindering your own growth, and you've been hindering I'm going to say your own joy for some reason. Yeah. Also, probably your abundance and your hope and your good luck and everything that you'd want to manifest. Because of the wish card. I'm really sensing that. But you're not in it anymore. Anywho, so duality, endings and beginnings. Yes, look at that. Amazing. But that would be when it's actually outstretched, you know. And so, of course, then it doesn't end until you get to like stretch out a bit more, and it's actually also out there in the open physical realm. That's when you get to start your new desired beginning. Like, you're supposed to be following your instinct, like your actual instinct here. You're actually supposed to be listening to your body, doing what you have been doing. Continue on. Okay, let's see here. So, Jörmungand is one big monster. Yeah, yes. Often referred to as the Midgard serpent, this creature is so large. It fits nose to tail around the whole world of Midgard. Its size stabilizes the realm, so it cannot be removed from its position. It is also the child of Loki. Oh yeah, the trickster god. I love him. Let's see here. The Loki and the giantess Angerboda, whatever that name, and has as its siblings the goddess Hel. Yeah, she's like part beautiful woman, part hello, I am also death. And I look it. As all women and men, I suppose. Like, you wake up in the morning and you're like, yeah, death, it is I. Then as you move and you get some blood flow, it's like, yeah, but I'm also like this divine goddess. Did ya know? Okay, let's see. Secretly though. Also, that's not you get to hell's realm, but it's not like going down to it's down in the underworld, but it's like it's not a punishment. It's like, yeah, if you're a Viking now, went into battle and all that, then you wanted to go to the other place that I can't remember right now, because then you were like a battle god, and then you could continue on battling all day, every day, and then you can have some meat at the end of the day, every day. To me, that sounds exhausting. If you went down to the other place, I think you got to look at some trees and stuff being eaten. I'm talking about like the tree of life. What's that called? Yggdrasil. Yeah, you got to look at that being eaten up by other animals and creatures. But you were safe because you were down there in Hell's realm anyways. Anywho, let's go back to it. Yeah, and then there's Fenrir, the great wolf, because the gods were afraid. So there's something about this. Why am I telling them? Guys, look into this, because there might be something with these siblings that's relatively important. Or Loki, the trickster god, or also, I don't know a lot about her, but Angerboda, his wife, or at least the mother of his children, to Loki. But the children, the 3 children, they are all extremely important in this Norse mythology. However, they are also ridiculously fat. Like, ridiculously fat. And when it comes to Fenrir, the wolf, that's just super sad, because he has all of this power, but because he has all of this power and all of this strength and all of this everything, and more importantly, he is seen in some sort of like Armageddon prophecy thing, seen that he will be a key player in ending the gods, sort of, but I want to say the old gods, because what is the word that they actually use? It's not Armageddon. It's that doesn't matter. When their end time comes, it's not that it's the end of everything. It literally is that. I'm not going to go into a different fairy tale as well. I'm just going to say this. So it literally is the end of the reign of the current gods. And then there's this new system that comes into play. Like, we don't know what that new system is. Maybe some do, but in general, that's not well known. I don't know what the new system was. But you know what? It's probably going to be like, you know, new gods then. And new people. It's like, it's a new structure that comes in. And this false sun that you've been hampering, no, not hampering, this false sun has been hampering your growth and all of the things that we talked about, but it's sort of like with the Fenrir thing here. I'm not saying it's knowingly, but I'm saying, and it might be from yourself, like it might be you that was afraid of your own ability. Not because you feared that you couldn't, but because you feared that you could change the world around you. That's quite normal. Although it could also be, of course, the people around you that have been your false sun. Because they've aligned with whatever it was that your ego thought that you wanted, but then wasn't because it didn't align. But then these false suns might be fearful of losing you one way or another. And so they might have, unknowingly or knowingly, but hopefully unknowingly, also been hampering you from kind of growing and moving and becoming all that you could be, all that you actually are. because they would have known, you know, they would have felt it. Again, intuition. That if you were all that you were, you wouldn't be that there with them in that group, because that's not where you sort of belong. I'm not saying like you're never going to talk to those people again. Like, for example, if it's a friend group, I'm not saying that. You can exist in more than one world, sort of. But it wouldn't be what it is or what it was. Things would change. And change is scary. For everyone involved, not just you who go through it, sort of, but also for those that are left behind. And they kind of continue on in this world that you used to exist in with them. It's fear of abandonment. And other stuff. It can be other stuff as well, but it's still like you do feel that, you do sense that. Anywho, so the god Odin, foretelling that Loki's children, here it comes. Loki's children will destroy the gods, decides to throw Jormungand in the ocean surrounding Midgard. Unfortunately for Odin, the serpent grows, and to such a size that it is able to hold its tail in its mouth. For some of you guys, this has been intentional. For some of you guys, your false son knows what they've been doing. They've been doing it intentional when they were hoping you wouldn't grow. Because they really didn't want this change. They've been sabotaging you one way or another. I'm sorry. But continue on doing what you're doing because it's leading you out of it. Yeah. So the end of the world, a time called Ragnarok. Now we have it. Yay. Okay, Ragnarok will begin. Okay, so it begins with Jormungand letting go of its tail, letting go of the structure that held everything in place. Yeah. The physical change comes when you stop holding on to the structure that remains, the structure that is there. You've done all of the changing and healing and whatnot up here. You've really grown. But nothing, not a single thing of this that is your actual life will fall away or change. And you cannot have the new in the physical. It'll just be that. It'll just be that. The prophecy, the fairy tale, the fantasy, the story. That what we started with here. It will just remain that. Unless you let go. Quite literally of the structure. And that will feel like chaos. Like quite literally for this right collective, envision it as that. This serpent holding on to the tip of its tail with its mouth, truly keeping everything in its order, structured as it is. But should it let go? In theory. This is the image in my head. I'm not saying that's how it actually went down in the Ragnarok tale. This detail I don't know. But what I am seeing then is that, you know, the floods open on this disc of an earth. And then all of the water just falls out. And then you're left with a bare structure. A barren land. It's almost as if it was falsely kept in place. Because it couldn't remain by and of itself. It was not possible. It needed that one individual to keep on keeping it all together. But by keeping it all together, I'm also saying wearing your corset, restricting yourself. The entire structure for this to exist relied on you, this right collective, keeping yourself constrained. But the thing is, the only thing you ever had to do, because you were, I'm sorry to say this, but in these tales, you will have been more powerful the entire time. You will have been more powerful than whatever it is that threw you in there. And they threw you in there out of fear. They were keeping you down there out of fear. So they knew. And they knew to keep you down. But the only thing you really needed to do was to let go. That was it. Release your tail and everything falls apart. And you will notice that. Like, you will feel and sense it. It won't be like you're just standing there victorious. Haha. No, of course not. Because it's also your structure. You've been holding on to that tail for forever. This has been not just your job, but okay, listen to this. So, when I was going to talk about this, I literally went straight to its work title. So it's like its identity. I did not use its name because I don't remember its name. But its name is, I always say this, names are important. Names are spell is the first gift that you give a child when it comes into the world. It doesn't matter if they change it or whatnot later on. It's still the first gift that you grant your child. And it's everything that you want them to sort of like, all of the blessings that you want to give them, you know? Only the first ones, but still. Names are important. And it's your favorite word as an animal in general. We know for a fact that at least also birds, some of them at least, like for a fact, we've checked this, name their children. So quite likely it's the favorite sound of every animal that can do so. Dolphins also have it. Birds and dolphins might be important for this collective then, actually, if I'm thinking of them. But my point out was, you have always been, well, not always, but still, your identity was this holding it together person. So you will stand there with the sense that you are losing your entire identity, everything that you've been. And although that does not align with you, and although that is directly linked to you being kept down, being kept small, to you giving away your power over your future, over how big you can be, over everything, because that's the thing, we do give our power away. There is no one that comes and takes it. Yes, Odin threw the serpent into the sea and whatnot, and then the serpent went, oh, okay, I'll bite my fucking tail then and just, follow rule, follow suit. Well, yeah, but like if it just like let go, there's probably more to it, but still, like in this analogy, we're doing it like this, okay? So if it lets go and everything falls apart. So you've also been part of keeping yourself small because you restricted yourself, because you followed suit, because you were following the false sun and what it told you that you could be. But a false sun won't let you grow and have all of your cycles. A false sun is just a sad outlight. Like, street light. That's what I meant, a street light. No, I'm not saying all streetlights are sad. I don't know. And also I love having light where there's dark, Who doesn't? But they do ruin for the stars, which I do not like. Anywho, back to it. Here, so the main enemy of Jormungand, you're going to also have to find yourself again. With the whole, like, if you actually let go. But that's part of what you've been doing. You've already been finding yourself. You're already sitting with that knowledge that, guess what? I am much more than just the serpent who holds it all together. Okay, folks? Like, so much more. I have a whole identity myself. Thank you very much. And there's strength in that. And that's glorious. That's gorgeous, actually. That's healing. But okay, let's see here. So the enemy of Jormungand, something like that, is of course the god Thor. Yeah, because he challenges him at some point. Thor is a deity who tries to work for the people and destroy evil when he finds it. That's a bit black and white thinking. Someone has been thinking about your power and whatnot as evil. Well, you know what? That just means that it was inconvenient to them. Okay, not impressed. And neither should you be. But okay, so let's see here. When he finds it, yeah. His half-brother, Loki, knows that the serpent is one of the only ways to destroy his brother. So again, like, you have this power, so much power. So he births the living weapon. Yeah, that's also a thing with Loki. He's very androgen. Loki is a trickster. Yeah, but he's also like a seahorse. Kind of. Oh, that's adorable. I had a personal reading with that. The seahorse. No, I didn't. I did, but I didn't. Look into seahorses, people. This right collector should look into seahorses. Anywho, let's see here. You have lots of animal spirits, and lots of it is tied to sea. There's lots of emotions there. Yeah, but that makes sense with the turbulence. Like you're in right now, it's turbulent. And also with the headache. Let's see though. So the serpent isn't just large, because it's huge. It's able to spit poison. Oh my god, that's kind of cool. Anyway, from its breath. And if it bites you, the venom means certain death. You might have a way with words. Let's say that. Okay, a certain death. It would be hard to kill once the time for Ragnarok came. So all of the gods are very afraid, you know. The current power structure is very afraid. Oh my god, we only have like 5% left. Okay, wait. I'm gonna get through this, I think. Actually, wait, no. I'm going to charge my phone. And then we'll continue on, okay? You won't notice this, but I will. Hi, we're back. Like, you didn't notice, but I did. It's been a bit of a while, like a tiny bit, and I don't remember exactly how I stopped it, so we're just going to continue on with the reading. And what was I going to say? I was feeling delays because of this, like having to stop. I extremely rarely ever stop, but now I really had to stop. Because my phone would have died if I continued on, and you wouldn't have gotten the ending. There is something in that. Because you're supposed to be continuing onwards. You are. Yet you might start to feel a bit drained with the tension again. Like you're giving it your all. We talked about this. But you really might start to feel a bit drained from all of this. But if you do, it's okay to take a pause. That won't. Yeah, okay. So if you need to take a pause, then you take a pause, okay? That's not the same as going off your path, and it's not the same as not getting done what you need to do. It's just that you are allowed to breathe, okay? You're allowed to rest, and you might be a kind of collective that needs a reminder of that you are also allowed to rest. And that makes sense with the, I don't remember his name again, because he's like, he is his whole identity isn't himself. His whole identity is the position that he holds, the function that he holds, which is maintaining the structure. And his name, I'm really also sensing the I do that a lot though, but the crucible with Proctor and his speech about his name. You've taken everything else. The least I can keep is my name, for I have but one. Like, that's not the speech, but like, it's that sense, like, I can literally not give you anything more. If I give you just an ounce more now, I'm talking about the situation you're in, by the way, with the false sun and all of that. If I give even an ounce more, there will be nothing left of me. I will simply be the stories that you tell, and I cease to exist. With even just 1 ounce more. That's exhausting. That's very exhausting. Because you kind of... I'm sensing this. Boundaries are hard to keep up because boundaries are being viewed as an enemy. Like, it's a hostile thing. It's not just the power that you inherently hold. It's also when you put down boundaries, it's viewed as you being kind of hostile, is what I'm sensing. And it might not be that exact thing for you, the right collective, like the people who fall into the right collective. It might manifest slightly differently, but the point is, when you kind of put yourself first, and we all have to do that. Like, you have to put your health first, and then number 2 is your mission, whatever that is in life or whatnot, and then other people. Like, it has to be number 3. Because think about it, and this is important. If you do not put your health first, it's kind of like with those masks. I use this example a lot, but like when you go on an airplane, right? And if those oxygen masks should fall down, you need to put it on yourself first. I will admit to the fact that I might be a kind of person who would put it on other people first and then be like, yeah, but I have time, and then I'll put it on myself. But what if there really was this oxygen problem? I wouldn't have time, and I would not be working as effectively as I could if I simply put on my mask first. And I was like, oh, yes, nice oxygen. Let me just be like super speedy helping other people over there afterwards. Because I have oxygen now. I can breathe again. And there was something with breath for you guys, with the whole corset, because you can't breathe right now. You can't expand. You can't be yourself. But when you do try to do it as well, it is viewed as undesirable. It's the most general way for me to put it. That's horrible. But anyways, you're allowed to rest. That's okay. That's not going off track. We all need to rest at times. Anywho, so the Norse myth of Ragnarok is as dramatic as it is beautiful. We see within it a story of cycles and fresh starts, deaths, renewals, and birthing of new ways, and a new time. Exactly, because Ragnarok isn't the ending, it's just the start of something new, and something new will always scare what was, if what was would be losing their power, or any sort of power. Or also it could just be the change, in general. It's like that feeling of uneasiness. And now my ground isn't stable like it used to be. And it's all your fault because you went and grew and became like your own person. What is that? Like, are you doing this against me with intention? That's rude. That's like your false son at this point. And also these gods. Which is also really rude because they're literally pushing you down, and also this poor little, I know his name, Jormungand. And he's not that small either. Anywho, so let's see. Yeah, New time. So Ragnarok is the essence of all that is. No. Ragnarok is the essence of all of this. Yeah, okay. A ripening of the world, a rotting, and then a death and rebirth. Cycles with the tree. Don't follow your false son. Follow yourself. Internalize. How do you feel? But you're already doing that. It's marvelous. So the first sign that Ragnarok has begun is with the Midgard serpents. Oh, we've already read that. Sorry. Oh, well. Oh, you know it twice. Wonderful. You're very welcome. So let's see here. Yeah, okay. First sign that Ragnarok has begun is with the Midgard serpents releasing its tail from its mouth, and there being a great disturbance in the water. That's what we said. Basically. Huge waves begin to trash the shores of Midgard. We were talking about that. Waves, actually. But I was also talking about it's mostly because of this simply entering, sort of. So there's like splashes all about. My point is it won't be lasting. This like feeling of waves, because waves is the motion. So if it's like large waves trashing the shores of your Midgard, like your life, your world, whatever, it's simply a consequence of this new thing that you're grounding. It's just a consequence of change, and it's not going to be long lasting, but it will feel intense when it's still going on. Okay, let's see. The intertrash shores of Midgard. This is a warning sign to all. Soon, Jormungand slithers its way up the land. You're moving from one stage to a different stage. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, so slithers its way up the land and sprays its lethal poison as it goes, ruining the air and water. Yeah, you don't really have to ruin anything, okay? I'm just gonna say that, like, it's okay to have all of these emotions and whatnot, but you're not. Oh no, I'm sorry, I was going to be joking here. Like, but that's not it. That's not it. It's, you're going to feel like you're ruining everything, and you're going to be told that you are as well. By all of this that you have surrounding yourself. Yeah. The false son. Your ego identity. And you will quite likely also be telling yourself this. You will genuinely be feeling it. It is the waves. It's part of it. You're ruining everything. And each trashing of the shore of these very emotional waves, you should know that that's what it is. It is just the force trying to keep you back and trying to keep you as small as you've been. Because it benefits others. It will never benefit you to keep yourself small. It won't. And it doesn't benefit the world in general either. The world benefits from people truly being all that they are. Because you don't come into this world carrying all of your gifts for them to be, tucked away in some sort of chest, buried on the sand like it's a pirate's treasure, and then forgotten about. And you also don't come into this world to have all of these marvelous gifts and then only be gifting them to, I was going to say no one, but it's not that. But yeah, you have them to share them, but I'm thinking circus monkey in my head. Like someone that just performs. You don't have autonomy over all of these gifts and all of the blessings that you can bring into the world. There's no autonomy over it. Because in this setting that you're in, it's okay for you to express it so long as it is still in line, so long as you're still performing your actual function within this setting. So it's highly restrictive. You can do it for them to the extent that it, I want to say, pleases. But you can't really go all into yourself. But you also can't really necessarily showcase everything all the time. Like, there is no freedom here. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's continue on here. Slithers way up to the land. Space. Yeah, okay. So it meets with its brother. Hey, that's cool. Siblings. Nice. We talked about that at some point. Anywho, its brother Fenrir, whose eyes are said to glow like the embers of a fire, and who becomes hungry for blood. Revenge. Well, I mean, he has literally had, like, there's a sword or something sticking through his 7 of swords. Is it not? Nope, that's not 7 of swords. That is... This is relevant. Because I've been thinking about Fenrir for... 1 sec. Where are you? Give me a sec. That's swords. Yes. 4 of swords, yes. Because then you're in the pause mode. That makes sense. Here. Fenrir. Can you see him? Look at that. That's horrible. You can't treat anyone like that. Except the gods did, because they were afraid of all of this power, right? So, Fenrir. Oh, it's Norway. It comes from Norway. It's not necessarily, like, there's more, it's Norse mythology, so, like, that's more than Norway. But, you know, represented. Anywho, Norse mythology. So this is 4 of swords. But this is the state that you're kind of trapped in. This is your literal corset. I'm sorry, but it is. Look at that. That's your literal corset. That's literally what you're trapped in right now. That's where your false sun is putting you. So, a pause in battle, blah, blah, blah. The Norse gods know that the wolf Fenrir will bring about the end of the world. So they have him bound and chained. Nice. While he still represents a threat. For now, there is respite. Yeah, for the gods. But for Fenrir, that's just torture. And, like, not being allowed to just be Fenrir, you know, run around, be a wild wolf. And the lone wolf came up here. Isn't that nice? Yeah, I'm sorry, but this is your Fenrir. In this environment, you are. But you've been doing a lot of, like, work. You're not so stuck right now, like, in your mind and whatnot, because you've grown, okay? Fenrir is the child of Loki. So that could also be with the child card that we had in the beginning. It's about, like, you growing up, which, again, emotional maturity. I'm not saying, like, age-wise here. And I'm also not saying that now you have no more growth left to do because you're such an adult in your mind, in your head, and in your body. Yeah, it's nice. But, like, if you stop growing, then you stop growing. And then you end up being where you walked away from, basically. You know? Afraid of change. Our brains are, or our mindset is probably much easier to categorize it as. Our mindset can be of growth mindset, or it can be, stagnated, basically. And for anyone that is in a growth mindset, you know, there's no end to this. Like, you don't stop evolving. But that's beautiful, because that means who you are today is not necessarily who you are tomorrow, and that also entails for everyone else that you meet. Which, again, is beautiful, because that's everything that you don't have right now. Right now, you're bound by your environment. You're not supposed to be anything else or anything more. And definitely not all of yourself, because that's very inconvenient and undesirable. Four of Swords. We're also going to check out the same thing here. Fenrir is important. All of the children of Loki is. It's like, it's this fear from, I'm also sensing in Snow White, right? The evil stepmother in Snow White. She represents the old fearing the new, but in a very human way. The evil stepmother represents those who are older, who are now seeing those who were younger and viewed as children, because they might have been children. So, for example, parents, this could be a parent who sees that their child is growing up and fears the fact that if they blossom, that means I age. That means loss of what I was. Them blossoming means a loss of my identity. So it's extremely ego-driven. But worse, it's also worse, but still, like, it's also extremely lack mentality. There's no overflow, and everyone can just be themselves. It's literally like there only exists so much, and I'm sensing power. So there only exists so much power, and so if they get some, that means I lose some. What they gain, I must lose. Which is, I'm sorry, but that's not true at all. Like, they're not connected. It's just like, if you exist in a setting and in a dynamic, like, I don't care if this is family, friends, or love, or whatever. That's a highly restrictive dynamic, and it only allows for whomever is on top to stay on top. There's no freedom in that. There's no growth in it either. And it's all about, well, the main person, and everyone else will be a side character. But that would be if there's one person, because it can also be, of course, the whole, like, if there's an entire system, which we've been talking about a lot. And it can also be a combination, because that's what I've been sensing a lot in this reading. It's broader. It's a lot broader. But the right collective you will know. And the right people within the collective you will know. It doesn't really matter for me. Like, I don't need to define this. But everyone will have their function, right, within a broader system. And the moment you then start breaching out, if it's a healthy dynamic system, organization, whatever, if it's a healthy one, it won't only, like, allow you to do that, it'll even build you up and be like, whoa, great, you're growing. That means we're growing. You're changing. That means we're changing. You're heading towards your future. That means we are heading towards our future. And how glorious is that? That's a healthy one. An unhealthy one will look at it and be like, what are you doing right now? Are you, like, doing something different? Are you like... I felt like we had a very good understanding of where you stood and where I stand, and also where everyone else stands. And if anyone at all walks outside of that, well, that means change. I'm not prepared. I don't want that. I like things as they are now because I feel comfortable in it. So all of the rest of you guys, you're just going to have to like accept, okay? You are what you are and you will never be anything else. And if you do that, like the whole like changing and growing and whatnot, looking towards your own future, using all of your like gifts and whatnot, well then we have a problem, don't we? That's horrible. That's not healthy, okay? So, this is important. Symbolism with Fenrir, because it's very much tied to you guys. Keywords though: respite, recuperation, reflection. No, not your keywords, I'm sorry. Your keywords are corset, okay? Corset. This thing. It's like your corset. That's your keyword. So, symbolism. We will look into that though. Fenrir. Because that's you guys. The World Destroyer represents... Okay, he's the winner of a battle. Or the loser. No, the winner of a battle, never the loser. Gets to also define, you know, the story and history and whatnot, right? So, like, the World Destroyer, yes. But you could also say the bringer of change. The bringer of evolution. The bringer of cycles. Or also just simply... not swearing. The consequence of, you know, cycles doing their thing, being cycles, moving between the different stages and whatnot. Growth, not stagnation. That's Fenrir. And also his other siblings. Anywho, represents strength. Yeah, but destroyer, I wanted to say that because that's the definition. That's the gods defining it. Because it would be, it is a destruction, yeah, but like it's also just change. You know? It's only worded as something negative because, firstly, it's uncomfortable. We don't like uncomfortable as humans. And in general, like beings, we don't like uncomfortable. Of course not. But it's still that it would be defined as bad by those who are in power. And I've said that a lot, so I'm going to continue. Anywho, so strength. Yeah, it represents strength. You have strength. Destiny. It represents destiny. Your destiny. Wow. Inevitability. Destruction. And rage. Yeah, you might feel a bit like rageful. Who wouldn't if you've been like contained like this? I'll be honest. But I'm going to say choose empathy because empathy sets you free. Yeah, I know, it even came in rhyme. So unplanned and yet so amazing. Anywho, let's see here. So, okay, the corset. It's like a magical, what was it called? Ribbon. It's a magical ribbon, and I'm thinking about like the justice, like what is she called? I really like her. Wonder Woman. She has like this thing, and it's like a cord or a ribbon or whatever, or a lasso. I'm not sure when she's like packing, but when she wraps it around you, it's very strong, but it also forces you to tell the truth. But I feel you've gotten like a corrupted shadow version of that because you also had a false sun. So why would you not have a false version of that? Anywho, so Gleipnir, whatever. This magical gold ribbon, your corset, holds Fenrir back. That's not nice. Holds Fenrir back. The thin thread protecting the world from carnage will eventually break and the battle will resume. So like this is inevitable. Like your growth is very much inevitable, but it is because it's already there. Like you've already grown, and now it's just a matter of when will you put it into your actual physical world, or will you? Because you don't have to, you know. You can also decide to abandon this. You can decide to just remain where you are. The only one that will really hurt is yourself. And you're worth more than that. You shouldn't be holding yourself back as the others have. Don't take on other people's fear for your greatness. Because firstly, it doesn't threaten them. And if they feel threatened, that's on them. And that's something they need to work at. And it doesn't threaten you either. If anything, it's calling you to stay in line with it. Anywho, yeah, and then there's the sword in Fenrir's mouth. Highly painful. Look at that. It's such a painful state. Of course it is, because you don't get to exist. That's horrible. But okay, so the mouth sword. Self-sacrifice for the greater good. Yeah, I get it. But martyrdom leads to death. You know, so it's like, of yourself, like you don't get to exist. That's not nice. For yourself. And it's also foreshadowing defeat. Yeah, but of the gods. And then we have web of word stone. Web of word stone. Where is that? The word stone. Oh yeah. Ah, it's there. On the edges, I think. I don't think it's the thing below. Anywho, this symbol of the tree of life represents the past, present and future possibilities. How past and present choices affect the future. Yeah, because you still have to carry on. And that all timelines are interconnected. Yeah, you can just jump between them. Like, make one decision. Or decide, well, it would still be a decision. Like, decide to be active or inactive. Decide to take a stand or not. In different situations, it's still great. Like, you know, you don't... I'm not saying in every situation you should act and in every situation you should sit back. I'm saying you need to listen to your intuition, actually, when it comes to that. But by making a single different choice, everything can change. And that's a power that you hold. Now you're holding back. Ah, yeah, and then there's the fact that he's on an island, which is isolation, separate peace. You don't feel lots of peace in the environment that you're in. Tension everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And it actually got a bit worse when I came back to this reading. After the pause. I didn't really notice it that much. I could notice it here, but not so much up here. And now I'm noticing it in my head again as well. Yeah. You're not supposed to be lingering in this, okay? But you're allowed to take a breather. So, let's see. We're soon done now. Fenrir, blah, blah, blah. Yes, so they join up with other allies on a lonely plain where all will battle the gods. Yeah, fear me, or fear ye gods, or like something. I don't remember. I feel like there was a quote there. I just can't remember it. Okay. A great battle ensures for the balance of the universe. The battle between Thor and the Midgard serpent is a savage one, described in great detail in the Poetic Edda. Thor eventually manages to kill Jormungand. Jormungand, yes. So Thor eventually manages to kill Jormungand. Well, that's horrible. But then staggers 9 steps and dies. That's Thor. So it's like, it's a useless battle as well. Which you're stuck in. It's like, it's useless. Like, it has no point to it. Yes, it will be like change and whatnot. But no one wins. It's just a bunch of, like, power struggles. Exhausting everyone. Okay, so 9 steps. Staggers 9 steps. 9 is the wish number and also actually completion. Because in numerology, when you come to 10, you're actually back at 1. So it's also still completion of a cycle. And something new would have to begin after that. It's not like when we die, well, the world ends. That would be as when we get born. Finally, the world could start turning. You're welcome, everyone and everything. So something else will always come and take over. Okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So, poisoned by the serpent's venom. Yeah, again with that, like... I really feel there will be... No matter what you do, you can either choose to stay in... And I don't feel this collective will. Because you've already healed so much. You've already grown so much. You don't fit where you're at anymore. I'm sensing it is more of a when will you do it. But what you're truly choosing between her is how long do you want to be in long suffering, which will be... what's it called? Like when it builds upon itself, like it gets worse. It intensifies. At no point is this going to like become lighter. Yeah, you will have periods, definitely, where you've like gone through that toxic cycle of like the high part, which is really igniting each other's nervous system and... well, it'll be like quarrels or whatever it is. Like it's not healthy for either of you guys, but it's the power, like the height of the power struggle. And then afterwards, you might definitely, because this is normal, you might definitely enter the more pleasant phase where you feel like, oh, but we did manage to fix it. Haha. Because now I feel like I'm getting so much attention and like everyone is like truly seeing me and my worth. Like I don't really know, because again, like I don't know if it's a friend group or if it's like family or if it's like a relationship. Like it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's the same like way that it works. And so at that point, and the thing is, we trigger it. If you're in that toxic loop, at some point you'll start triggering the high part, in most cases at least, because you want that other part where you kiss and make up, and now we're friends again, and now everything is going to be just as it was, you know, way back when I was love bombed into whatever it is. Because there's always a reason why you've entered this. It hasn't always been like whatever you're in, or it hasn't always felt like it feels now, because you aligned at some point. But what was I going to say? It was something. Yeah, so the real choice that you have here is you can either be a long sufferer and do the whole like long game thing, or you can choose to, for a short period of time, face something that will feel even more uncomfortable. Because it's almost as if you're just getting the tops. You're just getting that, like the top point. And you're not going to be kissing and making up. Because you're actually moving on. And I'm not saying, like, again, like if it's a friend group, if it's family, if it's something like that. Like you're not necessarily cutting these people out. It's just that you will have to stand in the waves that will be coming in, and they will be big, and they will be scary, and they will be emotionally, and they will be focused on you being very problematic now. You not sticking to your role, your designated character description, kind of. It's like an NPC, you know? It's you finding your freedom. How very inconvenient. It's you being all of yourself. How extremely inconvenient and undesirable. And so you will get that pushback. You just will, emotionally. And as we said, you'll get it from yourself as well. That's just how it works, sadly. But you need to stand your ground, also with yourself. Soothe your mind. You can do that. But to do so, you firstly need to get out of your own emotional triggers and reaction. And so it's okay to pull back a little, for example, just to collect yourself. And no, the environment you're in may not feel the same as me. That is okay. Or yourself, like that is something you need. And they might not do so themselves. But do what you can to keep yourself grounded and steady, and simply keep... I've not done lots of ballet, but I did a little bit. And what we were taught was that when you twirl, it wasn't just ballet actually, it's like all of the dance styles or whatever. If you twirl, you need to have a focus point, because then you won't get dizzy. You won't get disoriented, yes. You won't get so disoriented. So you can do it a lot, twirls, like it doesn't really matter. You can experience the waves then, because you keep your eyes on the prize, sort of, like you know where you're heading, and that will be your continuous focus point to realign you. And that's a trick you can use. It's actually quite effective. Also, when you're not twirling, who would have thought? But yeah, that's your option here, because you're going to go through pain anyways. But you want to go through. So I wanted to say slow sizzling burn, but that's not what it's going to be. Like where you're at, it's not going to be slow sizzling burn, because it's already been accumulating over time. And you're not where you were, so you feel this intensely. But you can choose to either stick to that in that, or you can take, and there is no right or wrong answer here. You need to do the thing that I said, internalize it. Okay? Feel how it feels for you. That's part of this whole thing. How does it feel for you? Do you want to do that? And you might have good reasoning for doing so. It might not just be fair. It could also be practical reasons, or like it could be... And I'm also sensing if it is fair, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we need to do things afraid. Like you have to just walk. And then let things... As you do something new, you will start gaining confidence in that new thing. And you will not gain that confidence until you actually experience it. Because you might not have any proof, or the proof that you have might have been a long time ago, before you ended up in this situation with this group or this whatever it is. And they might have erased it to a certain extent, at least. And so you might need to experience it either for the first time or again. And as you do that, you gain the confidence. As you do that, you gain the conviction that you can do it. Because no one is sure. It's a gamble. Every time we do something new, it's a gamble. It feels like it. We're throwing dice and just hoping for the best. Well, I mean, in this case, keep on doing that, because you're getting your wish granted. Whatever it is that you're working for, you're getting it. Yeah. I'm just going to read the last sentence there. The waters rise. Many of the old gods and giants die, and the world is made anew. And the waters settle in the end. And it's not like the end, but after the storm comes the calm. That's a cycle. It's just, it is what it is. It will always be like that. And before the storm, there will be a calm. Because, you know, cycles. Yeah. This has been your reading for this Right Collective. There is nothing more to add to this. Remember that you can. Remember that you're worth it, whatever this it is. Remember that you are not what others put on you. You are more than your function. You are yourself. You are an individual. You are a being. You are whatever the fuck you want to be. And no one can really truthfully stop or hinder that. Whatever they throw on you to try and do so, you actually have the power. Because you always had the power. But you can actually break free from it. You can say, no, this ain't me. It might be you, but it isn't me. And if it is you, then that's okay. But it still isn't me. And then choose to just release your tail and let events flow as they may, while you keep your eyes on your fairy tale. Because you can achieve it. You will achieve it. If you keep on walking as you have, and you keep on throwing those dices, and you keep on believing that you can, even if you don't necessarily have the proof needed to truthfully feel it yet. You just need to keep on believing it. And if the most tangible point that you have, that you can, you know, the twirling analogy again, when you keep one point in your mind, in your vision, to keep on recalibrating yourself, like checking, am I doing this correctly? Check. You know, am I moving to where I want to move? Twirl, check. With your point, whatever that point is. I lost my thread. I think that was it. That's how you do it. Keep on doing that. And so even if you need to rest, so long as you keep on doing that, checking, even if you need to do it slower, or if you're okay with doing this quicker, keep on checking that you're on track. Because you will get your wish at the end. Whatever that is. Of course, don't get too attached to a specific, specific ending, like with specific, let's say it's it's a job, right? Or a person. But like, if it's a job specifically, like it doesn't have to be that company. You know what kind of work it is that you want to do, right? So that's what you focus on then, in that case. Or if it's a person, it doesn't have to be that person, but you know kind of what energy it is that you want. So then you focus on that. And then you do get what you want. Because it's not blocked by your ego being like, yes, that's what I want. But it's like, it looked different in my mind, okay? I had a very specific image in my head. So, yeah, but nah. That's self-sabotage, okay? That's wishing away your blessings. So don't do that. Focus on the energy. Focus on the energy you want, okay? Okay, but that has been your reading. Exceptionally long. Oh, whoa, it's long. It doesn't really matter. Your reading, I hope it helped. And subscribe, and all of those things if you feel called to it. You can do this. I have so much faith in you. You can do this. Okay, see you later.